Beyond Chaos Managed, let's talk.
Yep, we're going to dive into this whole Nexus letter.
Yeah, what is a Nexus letter? And do you actually need one?
Well,
do you need one?
Good question. Good questions.
But before we get into that, we're going to do our happy disclaimer because we are not
attorneys,
doctors.
We are not employed by the VA in any way, shape, or form.
No.
We're not counselors.
No, we're housewives.
We're not even giving advice.
We have husbands that are disabled vets too, and we're just wading through this same pond together.
And sharing what we're finding. Exactly. Because our digging could save you hours of frustrating work. Hours.
And maybe give you a little bit of entertainment while we're at it.
That's our hope.
Okay, well, one thing that we need to know is not everybody needs a paid Nexus.
Well, and the key here is you don't need paid Nexus letters.
Correct.
I mean, you shouldn't have to pay for them in the first place.
Well, I know, but if somebody takes if a doctor takes their time to do something, they want to be compensated for their time. So,
well, yeah, that's
I get
true. But I think a lot of them they'll perform the duty without extra.
I think it depends on where you get it from.
Well, it depends on the doctor, I suppose.
I know. Well, it is one of the most talked about pieces of a VA claim for evidence, and that is the Nexus letter.
Because it substantiates what you are asking for.
And unfortunately, most veterans still do not understand what it is.
So we're going to explain what it is.
Yeah, let us explain. Coffee. Let's start with what is a Nexus letter?
Okay. Bare bones about it. It's a medical opinion that starts connecting all the dots.
Yeah, we talked about connecting dots a lot, not just with medical letters, but with everything.
With everything. But what this is going to specifically do is it's going to take your connection, or your condition, what you're dealing with and what you're claiming for.
Yes.
And it wants to track it and tie it back to your military service.
Yes.
Or another service-connected condition that you may have already claimed.
A secondary claim.
A secondary.
Yeah.
So
it helps connect the dots. Remember, go back, look at our other videos. We talked about DEL. Remember, we made up our own
little acronym, DEL.
And that is diagnosis, event, plus link. And those are the three things that you need to have
a good claim.
A good claim.
Yeah.
To connect
strengthen
the dots. Yeah.
Okay, so we keep talking about
reiteration time.
I know, but we keep talking about the things you need to have in your claim in order to make a strong claim and hopefully prevent having it
kicked back,
denied, whatever. So, what things are you going to want to keep putting into that claim? What are
current diagnosis? And we did talk about how current it needs to be. Go back and watch prior videos.
Right.
We talked about
right. Yeah, we did talk about it.
Yeah.
And also, you're going to have in service an event, an exposure, some sort of an injury that may have occurred. Those kind of things.
Yep. And then your medical connection, which is the Nexus.
Yes. Well, that's just it. Nexus is like a connector. It's a hub.
Is. I think it was just named that because I don't know why.
I don't know. It's probably something Latin or Greek.
It's an acronym, I bet.
No, it's not. Okay.
So we need to ask, when might a Nexus letter be helpful?
Well, I mean, my personal answer to that would be always.
But interestingly enough, it's not always necessary.
No, because a lot of it, if you've got a condition that has happened in later years, this is going to become important because this is how they are going to establish that what you're dealing with.
They need that connection
from a medical person perspective. So you're talking to your physicians and such.
Yeah.
They're going to say, this particular thing that my patient has can definitely be as likely as not to have been started during service time. that make sense? I just
yeah.
la la la.
She's not a doctor, and she does not write these letters.
Thank you.
but I think you did hit on a few key things, because in my research, I did find that there are key words that are looked for. And when a doctor is writing a Nexus letter, that is one of the things that they put in there. It is as likely as not.
Yeah.
Because of military service, because they did XYZ.
Yeah.
Another reason that you'd want to get one of these would be like secondary conditions, because sometimes those just don't appear to mesh with what you already have connected.
Yeah. But it can take a physician to be able to say, oh yeah, but when they start, they look into things a little bit different. They've got more of a knowledge base about how these things can connect.
Most definitely. Another thing would be like a weak service record. And let's face it, a lot of y'all did not run to sick bay or whatever they called it at the clinic, whatever they called it in your particular branch of the service.
Wasn't the head.
And you're just not going to have those records that documented every slip, fall, paper cut.
Well, and I have that situation that I'm dealing with because, my husband did incur an injury on board ship that was not reported because there again, it's no big deal. I got to go do a job.
Well, mine was knocked unconscious a couple of times, so it was reported. So.
The other reason a Nexus letter comes in handy is if you have filed a claim and it was kicked back and denied.
Yeah.
And usually it's because you don't have enough documentation.
It lacks the dot connection.
Exactly. So this is where that Nexus letter comes into play.
Yeah. And then the other thing would be if you have like a complex medical relationship, that if there's something that's just not, you need those dots laid out for you because of what you've got going on, that would work out very well.
Yeah. So, think about it like this. If you've got, if you have a back injury, now you're noticing, my gait while I'm walking, it's just,
I ain't walking
it's weird. It's off.
What is wrong with my knee?
Yeah. Then your knees start hurt. This is how all this stuff starts
it all
linking,
connected.
And a lot of times people don't think about that because we, as non-medical people, we tend to look at things and go,
it's just the back.
I have got a headache. And then, your sciatic nerve starts acting up and you don't start linking that these things could actually
we don't
be
connect
related.
Our own dots. Well, this is what I had brought up, that you might not need one.
Okay.
So there are times when you may not need one.
Yeah. I mean, obviously, if you have a blatant condition that is obvious, it happened in the service. I mean, like if you're in service at the time and you have things going on and they've got documented records of it, and then
there's no question
you disconnect from the service, you've got all the backup already in the VA system.
Well, yeah,
that points to the fact that this did definitely happen while you were in service.
Yeah,
a Nexus letter is redundant at that point.
Well, yeah, it's just, I mean, why would you do the extra?
Yeah.
So yeah, service connection. It's obvious.
Yeah,
that's one. Like you said, the VA already has enough evidence because you've been well documented.
And just a side note on that, if you're curious as to whether or not there's information in your file already, if you go out to va.gov on your My Healthy Vet site and stuff like that, you can go in and there's ways that you can look at your personal records, everything that they have on you.
Yep, you most definitely can. And then the last reason that you might not need one is those presumptive conditions you might not require.
Yeah.
Because they already presume that they're attached to your service. So why would you need that?
Exactly. So, the Nexus letter, it really can be a powerful tool to advance your claim and make it more likely to get approved. But it's not a magic wand either.
No, it's not. Harry Potter doesn't live there.
No, it's true.
But so it's not required for every claim then?
No.
Well,
all right. So in talking about this letter, okay, who's writing this letter?
I don't know. Can anybody write
Uncle
one?
Sam,
Can
he got
anybody
you
write
into
one?
this. Let him get you out.
Well, potential people that could do them for you would obviously be your treating physician.
Yeah.
You
Because they're already familiar with what's going on.
Go to your main doctor, your primary.
Sure. If you've gone to specialists, because some things,
Yes,
is beyond a GP,
outside.
might be an orthopedic or some such.
Or what if you choose to go to an independent medical provider because you're tired of jumping through those hoops?
Right.
And if you're tired of jumping through those hoops, I highly recommend getting the phone number for your VA advocate.
Yeah.
Those people are a huge blessing.
Yes, they are.
Huge blessing. So shout out to the advocates.
Definitely. But, and just a heads up on this with the Nexus thing, not every doctor is going to do it.
That's true. Not everyone would be willing to. And I'm not exactly sure why they choose not to. Do they feel it's a liability thing?
Well, you have to wonder
I just don't know.
Maybe they don't want to get, maybe they themselves don't understand the process enough, thinking that they might get pulled into something beyond just putting together a letter
testify.
Yeah, exactly. That could exactly be the reason behind it. They're afraid of having to get too much involvement into your situation.
That's true.
I'm speculating.
That's true. And you have to realize that when you're getting this Nexus letter, the strength of the explanation matters more than any fancy words. So if a doctor's going to write it for you, they don't have to be an eloquent poet.
Well, because most of them aren't, and some of them tend to get more technical with all the terminology.
And that's not a bad thing.
No, it's not a bad thing, because they do know the terminology, which just proves the point that they know what they're talking about. But yeah, a Nexus letter doesn't have to be 5 pages long. It does not need to be.
No, I think it just needs to be something. This is what the deal is. This is the person's history.
Yeah, it's the right words.
Maybe we can touch on that.
Could be. All right, so let's go ahead and look farther into it.
Yeah, what makes that good Nexus letter?
What's it going to make it worth the time that it takes to put it on a piece of paper?
Okay, well, usually it has a few things.
Okay.
It's going to review your medical history.
All right.
Because if they know what your history is, that helps to connect the dots.
Of course. That's, a necessary point there.
Yeah.
And it gives more explanation and reasoning about your situation.
Yes. And doctors, because they know what your medical history is and they can do that reasoning, they can also connect your conditions in a logical manner.
Right. Yeah.
Which makes sense, because you and I will sit there and we'll be writing something down and we've got squirrels everywhere. Our ducks are not in a row. But when a doctor tends to write a letter, it's the logical progression of the disease, the condition.
And there again, that's the expertise that comes into play.
Yeah.
So the other part would be, because it's that usage of the medical rationale.
Well, yeah, and that's what we kind of touched on, and you kind of need that because they need to be able to bullet point.
Yeah.
And because let's face it, when they're looking at a claim, this is what they're looking at. They're looking for checked boxes, bullet points.
Yes.
And doctors have that ability to just this, boom, it's all connected.
More succinct than when we sit there and write, "Dear so-and-so."
Yeah. And obviously the doctor is going to reference your records when it's appropriate.
Oh, of course.
Because they're your doctor. They know what your situation is.
Yeah. So, it goes far beyond just saying, "Oh yeah, this is definitely something that happened while you were in the service." Yeah, sure.
Yeah. Well, that's why they, yep, it is. There you go. Rubber stamp. Next. It doesn't quite work that way.
No.
You're not going to get any doctor to say, yes, it's definitely connected.
No.
It's more likely than not.
Yeah.
Because there's no 100% guarantee with it.
Well, yeah, there's very rare cases where it's proof positive, unless, like we had said before, in situations that you don't need the Nexus, because there's all the documentation in the service. Exactly. So those are the only ones that, and there again, you don't need the letter in that situation.
No, you do not.
It's for the rest of us.
Yes. Okay, let's talk about those red flags when you go to get your Nexus letter, where you're going to get it from. And I know there's a lot of paid places out there.
Well, yeah, and it's interesting because it goes along with the whole thing of think it, speak it, your devices know it. Next thing you know, it's all over your Facebook and other social media
Which
things.
means we'll be seeing a lot of stuff because we record from a phone. So
yeah, but yeah, you'll see things pop up that they have a lot of people out there that they will tell you that they're going to take your claim and they're going to get you to 100% if you're not there already. And
you know, maybe they know how to do that. I really think that is a blanket statement.
I do. There's no guarantees on that.
No, there is no guarantee. And anybody that offers you a guarantee approved rating claim,
run the other way.
Next.
Yeah. That's just it. You don't want to go that way. So be wary of that. And they, especially when they're going to charge you a fee for it, because that's money out of pocket.
Well, and they all do charge fees.
Some level. It's either going to be a flat fee that they're going to want from you or a percentage of what they recover for you.
Yeah.
Almost
and
like
please know we don't offer anything as far as getting any kind of letters.
No.
We can't point you in a direction.
No,
we're just giving you information, and our information is always free.
Yeah. And the thing you want to watch out for, though, is a cookie cutter letter.
Yeah.
Because nowadays, with the internet, you can go out and you can Google a Nexus letter or a template or something like that.
Fill in the blank.
Just fill in the blank
in there and pay us your $150 or whatever.
You
don't
want to
do that.
Be really careful with that, because just because it's out there doesn't mean it's put together properly.
Well, and then it's money
out of your pocket too.
It doesn't mean it would support your claim either. If it's a cookie cutter, the only thing you're going to plunk in there to have typed out on there is your name, your last 4, date of birth.
Those letters can't actually go through and do the same thing that a professional would be able to do. A doctor would be able to write together to make it clarified and medically sound.
Right. So you really want to have a provider that's knows what your records are and at least review your records, because if they're not willing to review your records, I don't think they're going to be much help.
They're not going to do a good job.
No.
So, a Nexus letter, really, it's evidence.
True.
It's not just some short little list.
No, it's not a shortcut.
No.
Not at all. Many are saying, but what if I've been treated for that for years?
Why should that matter?
Well, I think it's because many veterans live with conditions for years before they even realize that they might qualify for benefits.
Well, and I think that's the big thing, because a lot of people don't look into the fact that your situation that you're dealing with medically could very well be tied back to your service time.
And a lot of times is.
A good portion of it is.
Yeah.
And they don't go and find out more information about it. They don't go down the pathways, and they're just like, well, geez.
Well, how is it possible
that I've been dealing with for the past 20 years? How am I going to possibly prove that this was something to do with my service time?
Well, I think this goes back to your diagnosis, who you go to, what you have. Because case in point is my husband. He's had this stuff long term.
Yeah.
And somebody had finally said to him, I really think you need to go see the VSO.
Yeah.
Because you've been dealing with this, and you tell us that the only thing that you're getting is for your hearing loss, because he was in demolitions, and all they give you is them spongy little foam things that stick in your ear that are worthless.
Yeah.
We wouldn't have known, and Doug and
there again, I think a lot of it goes back to the case too, that it's the separation time. You're out of the service for 5-10 years, and you start noticing things. So you think, well, what have I done during this past decade that I could have exposed myself to outside of the service? But that doesn't mean that you did not have something occur when you were in service.
And that's a great point.
That was the catalyst.
That is a great point. It is not, what have I done? It's when did this start?
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. That is a great point.
Thanks.
Gold stars for everyone.
Yay, and a smiley face too.
Yeah, so long-term medical documentation can still be valuable evidence.
Yeah.
Even if you file later.
Right. So, now what? What do you do?
We need practical next steps.
We do.
And we're going to probably reiterate things here again. But number one is organize your records.
Exactly.
Got to be organized.
If you haven't maintained any kind of records on your own, guess what? Your doctors did.
Yeah. So there's records somewhere.
Everything and anything that you've got going on, go back and contact. And if there's situations, we're dealing with one ourselves, that one of our practitioners was an older doctor at the time. The service was performed over 20 years ago. This doctor is probably no longer on this side of the dirt.
Yeah.
So try to get those records. You're not going to, because once their practices close, those records are pretty much
not unless you went to somebody else and had them transferred, but now you're playing the checkerboard game, which I mean, how many people do that? That you've got a specific issue, you go and address the specific issue, done, move on.
Just the transientness of our nation as a society nowadays.
That's
I mean, how many people pack up and there's a job here, so we're moving there, or something happens with family, you're moving back home, and you have to change who your physicians are.
And not everybody is going to transfer every record, because you're going to do any kind of primary, but you're not going to do anything else that you went to. And Lord knows, we really need to go back to the family doctor that took care of everything,
and
because
spidered off
all these specialties, it's like, who can keep up with that stuff?
Yep.
So organize your records. And then you're going to want to review your service history.
Yeah. And, there again, if you don't have your documents from when you outed, you can go on va.gov and you can get them and print them off to your heart's desire. Yep,
most definitely. But you need to know where you served, when you served. Was it wartime, peacetime? Because when my husband served, a lot of people believe that it's peacetime, but it was actually the Cold War.
Yeah.
Everybody was sitting on edge, wondering if somebody was going to push a little red button, what was going to happen.
Well,
I mean,
yeah, exactly.
Nobody knew.
Nobody knew much about the Grenada thing either, but my husband was there.
Well, and that's
there's documentation in his records that he has wartime service.
Yes, so you need to review your service history, and then by all means get your stuff together and go talk to a VSO or somebody else that does that.
Definitely. I mean, obviously we are proponents of the VSO because first and foremost, they're free.
Well, they're free, and they also know the VA pretty much inside out.
They're good.
They know. They're very good.
What they do.
They're very good,
and they're on your side.
Yeah.
So that's
anybody that's supposed to be advocating for a veteran better be on your side. Exactly. If not, they're in the wrong business.
Yep. Exactly. So the next thing you're going to look at is, when you go to ask your providers, do so thoughtfully.
Yeah, you don't want to just go in there and demand, hey, I need you to provide me with this Nexus Letter. Fill this out, buddy. I'm paying your salary.
That's not going to get you very far. You won't even get the little lollipop out of the glass.
No. Do they still do that?
Some of them. If they have.
The only place I've seen lollipops is at the bank. Because they've got your money.
Okay. And let's face it, when you go to the doctor's office, the people you're probably going to talk to are going to be the front office staff. So you want to be nice to these individuals because they take a lot of guff. Trust me.
They do.
And, from there, they'll get your information. I don't even know that necessarily you'll speak directly with the doctor unless the doctor needs to talk to you about it.
I don't know, unless you're in the middle of an appointment and you bring it up.
Yeah. But I'm thinking that 9 out of 10 times
you'll be making a phone call.
Be talking with them, possibly have a conversation over the phone.
Yeah.
But I think if any of the experienced staff are aware of these letters, that it's like, oh, okay. And the doctor knows, okay, I know what you're doing. I know what I need to do.
So I think the first question would be, does this office do Nexus letters?
Yeah. And if they sit there and go,
what's that?
If you get the deer in the headlight look.
Well, then you can explain it to them what it is. Exactly. And then they can either answer your question or they can say, I got nothing. Let me find out.
To the doctor.
Yeah. And then somebody will get back with you, but at least you'll know.
Mm-hmm.
Well, now with these online doctors, these doctors will do this for you.
That's scary though, because then I get concerned that you're going to get that cookie cutter letter.
Well, and that's just it. So I think the thing to do there is to learn before you start spending your money.
Oh,
do not send $500 to Dr. Smith to provide you with that Nexus letter. And apologies to any Dr. Smiths out there.
Yeah, really.
That might be really good guys.
Well, there's a good possibility that they're going to take minimal information. They're not going to understand your case, and what they're going to put out into that letter is not going to really be as helpful as you're hoping.
Correct. So before buying into that, do a little bit of digging and learn a little bit about the service before that's done.
Yeah. So be aware that a Nexus letter, it's not going to create a condition.
No.
And what it's there to do is there to help explain the connection between the condition that you actually do have back to your service.
Yeah. So tell us, did you know about Nexus letters? Have you ever gotten one? Where'd you get yours from?
Yeah. Comment below.
Yeah, like, share, subscribe.
Exactly.
Or vice versa.
Subscribe, share.
Yeah, that.
Do it all.
And
be an overachiever.
And we like overachievers because that actually helps us to grow. And we thank you for doing that.
It does.
Because this helps everybody else to know some more information.
Check out all the rest of our stuff on cowchtalk.com.
Yeah. So there you go, guys. Coffee is on.
Chaos managed.
That's Couch Talk.
So